Warner Files leak. New Plastic Beach book announced by 33 1/3.
We the last living soul.
Oh, Russell.
Russell, not his muscles, but percussion he provides with me as a guide. Y'all can see me now cause you don't see with your eyes.
Hola.
Hello everyone, how are you? I'm Static Machine and I welcome you to the 7th edition of TGC News, where we review the Gorillaz news for the months of June and July. Without anything else to say, let's get started. With more than 14 years since its creation, the official Gorillaz channel on YouTube reached 11 million subscribers. Taking into account that all their videos together accumulate 6 billion views, only 0.183% of those viewers are subscribed to the channel, which is a very small number. At the end of June, a large leak of a terabyte of Warner files was carried out, including more than 20 gigabytes of Gorillaz content up to the time of the Now in 2018. This leak gave us many materials such as the instrumental by White Flag, some instrumentals by the Now, animations and many videos. The album book series 33 1/3 has published the results of its 2024 open call, in which we can see that 15 new books about 15 great albums have been selected, including a Plastic Beach book written by Eher Junik. These books are already confirmed and will go on sale in early 2026. Very exciting! Musical artist Steven Everett recently turned 49 years old. He is known in Gorillaz for his outstanding participation in the song Strawberlight, although he also collaborated in Halfway to the Halfway House. Unfortunately, Steven is currently facing lung cancer, which entails very expensive treatment. To pay for it, a fundraiser has been opened on GoFund.com, which has managed to raise $45,000 of the total goal of $100,000. We deeply hope that Steven can overcome this adversity and we wish him much strength. Our favorite drummer celebrated his birthday recently, originally from the United States and having many ghostly guests during his youth. Russ is a big man with a good heart, but he doesn't let himself be carried away by just any idiot. 3 days later, the band's leader himself turned 57 years old. Murdoch Nichols is the one who created the band and its entire legacy. Without him, nothing would be the same. We can also appreciate his work in writing the wonderful album Plastic Beach. Sorcerers, the third single from the Now. Sleeping Powder, single from Phase 4, which is a song and video completely created by 2D. Friday the 13th is the 4th episode of the Song Machine web series and was released 4 years ago. This is practically considered the worst episode of Song Machine in the visual aspect, although its song is redeemable. Demon Days Festival Market, the Gorillaz festival held in 2017 with the sponsorship of Red Bull, where the song Garage Palace would debut. On Melancholy Hill, Plastic Beach's third single released in 2010 and which is currently one of Gorillaz's best-known songs. Fireflies, fourth single from the album The Now, released in 2018. Released 2 years ago, the Gorillaz art book is a Gorillaz art book created by Jamie Hewlett and featuring 40 other artists to give new and different perspectives to the band. Hollywood, fifth single from the Now featuring collaborations with Snoop Dogg and Jamie Principle. Cracker Island, first single from their self-titled album and first song on the tracklist. Carly Simon, the American singer and songwriter who collaborated on the track Ticker Tape, turned 81 years old. 19-2000, the second single from the eponymous album, is one of the band's best-known songs and therefore contains one of the most iconic and fun videos. Now 69 years old, Mick Jones provided guitar for the Plastic Beach album, participated in the world tour and also appears in the videos on Melancholy Hill and Rhinestone Eyes. The Now 6th studio album, which is characterized as an introspective album about the emotions of 2D at the time and which lacks the lead bassist, being supplanted by the charismatic Ace Coppola of the Powerpuff Girls. Later Come Home turned 22. This album of the reggae genre recreates the songs from the Gorillaz album of the same name and gives them a different style, although it is not very recognized. Now 31 years old, Vince Staples collaborated on the track Ascension and had a cameo in the Strawberlight video. Jamie Principle turned 64. He collaborated on the songs Hollywood and Sex Murder Party with Zebra Cats, who turned 37, also highlighting his collaborations on The Apprentice and Out of Body. Mavis Staples, American gospel singer who collaborated on Let Me Out, turned 85. At 30 years old, singer Kaylee Uchis collaborated on the Humans album with the songs She's My Color and Ticker Tape, in addition to participating in the Humans tour and Demon Days festival. Gruff Rhys, who collaborated on the track Superfast Jellyfish and appeared in the video on Melancholy Hill, has turned 54. Currently 36 years old, Popcaan is the collaborator on Humans' lead single, Saturn's Bars. He was also part of Humans tour, Demon Days festival and Song Machine tour. The sensational episode 5 of Song Machine was released 4 years ago. This is considered one of the best episodes of the Song Machine miniseries and also has the return of Mike the Monkey after more than 10 years. Great! Oh, a television. Moscow, would you mind turning on the television?
Ya, está bien.
I was seeing
Ada returns once again to this section with its more than excellent animations. This time it comes with the fan animation of Cloud of Unknowing from Gorillaz's most plastic album, Plastic Beach. The coolest thing about it is the fluidity of it, especially the wind physics. Even though it is a loop, it is still incredible. Good job! This next video is somewhat short but still funny. Opium brings us When You're Close to Me, a short animation that shows 2D and Murdoch standing looking into each other's eyes. It is inspired by a trend. Julian Sears brought us a song-by-song analysis of Cracker Island, giving meaning to each track based on its title, context, sound and lyrics, coming to the conclusion that it is an intimate album that captures the human essence, without forgetting its past but embracing its future. Without a doubt it is a very good analysis, recommended.
Explorar la banda, no solo con el fin de reinventarse.
I drove the key. I drove the key.
The recreations of the live visuals return to the series, of course. Deals Visuals presents a recreation of the Sex Murder Party visual used at the Humans tour in 2017. The attention to detail, visual effects and more make this an excellent visual, and it almost passes off as the original. Excellent work on its part.
Yeah.
And speaking of visuals, follows, Facundo brings us its visual for California and the slipping of the Sunday by the fall. The fluidity of it and the landscapes it presents are beyond beautiful, complete with images of the Plastic Beach Tour and the respective lyrics of the song. They should give a prize to those who make visuals this beautiful, right? Now, we present the best Gorillaz video of the month of July. This wonderful masterpiece made by Monkey Mirror 3 is titled Goofy Empire Ants. It is a beautiful cover with Goofy's voice. The emotions it transmits are indescribable, but very beautiful. I give this magnificent work a tremendous 11 out of 10.
Oh no, rise the sun, I have come again.
Can win
Are we all losing our minds? Because life.
The trivia for this edition is as follows. What is the longest Cracker Island single? A. Skinny Ape. B. Silent Running. C. New Gold. The album featured the singles Cracker Island, New Gold, Baby Queen, Skinny Ape, Silent Running and Tormenta. A lot of singles for a 10-song album. Comment what you think is the correct option to receive a mention in our next trivia if it is true. And that was it for this edition of TGC News. Tune in again next month for more Gorillaz news. Bye! It feels strange that nothing bad happened this time. Did you leave the key in the ignition?
No.
Anyway, start pushing.